Dead soil doesn't need chemicals to come back to life. Right under our noses, nature has been hiding plants that can heal barren ground, support entire ecosystems, and even feed us. Ancient civilizations already knew these secrets. From Roman farmers to indigenous growers, they used these botanical powerhouses to crack hardpan, unlock hidden nutrients, and leave the earth richer than they found it. That wisdom got buried, but it's still out there. Today we are uncovering nature's most powerful soil healers, plants that can transform lifeless dirt into thriving ecosystems. These are not typical garden varieties. They are the underground network of life that most people walk right past. Stick around, because what we've discovered will change how you see every vacant lot around you. Most people see sunflowers as pretty yard decorations. They're missing a $39 billion secret hiding right under their feet. Those towering golden heads? Just the visible part of an underground revolution. While you're admiring the flowers, the real work happens below ground, where most people never look. Here's what those roots actually do. They drill down like living jackhammers, punching through compacted soil that stops other plants cold. Then they act as elevators, hauling up nutrients and water from depths most roots can't even dream of reaching. We're talking 6 feet down or more, territory that's completely off limits to shallow-rooted plants. Ever wondered why gardens grow better after sunflowers? The roots literally redesign the soil structure. They crack open hard-packed earth, creating highways for air and water movement. When the plant dies back, those massive root systems decompose into organic gold, feeding soil microbes that other plants desperately need. The transformation is remarkable. What starts as concrete, hard ground becomes soft, living soil that holds moisture and breathes. But the engineering goes deeper. That 10-foot height creates perfect microclimates below. Harsh sun gets filtered, wind gets blocked, weeds get shaded out before they can establish. Meanwhile, the flower heads become landing strips for every pollinator in the area, creating a buzzing ecosystem that benefits everything nearby. Indigenous peoples figured this out centuries ago. They weren't just growing sunflowers for seeds and oil, though both were valuable. They discovered these plants could rehabilitate exhausted soil naturally, without any inputs or amendments whatsoever. The timing matters too. Plant sunflowers one season, and they'll prep your ground for whatever comes next. The soil stays loose, holds moisture. Ever notice those leafy greens growing wild along roadsides? Most people drive right past one of agriculture's best-kept secrets. This isn't just another weed. Mustard greens is a plant that medieval monasteries hired special workers called mustardarius to cultivate. They knew something we're rediscovering today. Watch what happens when you plant mustard. Those roots don't mess around. They drill down 3 feet, sometimes 5 feet in dry conditions, creating underground highways through compacted soil. Picture tiny tunnels opening paths for every plant that follows, breaking through earth so hard you could barely push a shovel through it. But here's where it gets interesting. Those thick leaves work like living mulch, choking out weeds while protecting the soil from wind and rain. The real magic happens when you chop it down while still green. Mix it into your soil, and you've just created premium organic matter. Clay loosens up. Drainage improves. Soil microbes get a feast that transforms dead dirt into living earth. Fields that felt like concrete start breathing again, soft and fertile, ready for whatever you want to grow next. But wait, there's more hiding in this plant. Those natural compounds in the leaves are chemical-free pest control. Aphids hate them, cabbage worms avoid them, and underground, mustard wages war against the troublesome nematodes that attack plant roots while leaving the beneficial ones alone. It's like having a bouncer that only kicks out the troublemakers. Here's what blew my mind. This same plant can actually clean polluted soil. It pulls heavy metals right out of contaminated ground through a process called remediation. Nature's own detox system, growing in ditches everywhere, quietly cleansing the land, working to heal damaged earth. The speed of this transformation is remarkable too. In just 80 to 95 days, you can watch barren ground turn productive. From ancient Asian kitchens to Roman gardens, farmers have relied on this dual-purpose powerhouse for thousands of years. Food for the table, medicine for the soil. We just forgot to pay attention. This is clover. People walk right over it, step on it, mow it down, spray it away. But this little three-leafed plant quietly saved European civilization from starvation. Picture this. By the 1600s, European farmland was dying. Centuries of planting the same crops had drained the soil of every nutrient. Harvests were failing across the continent. Famine loomed. Then farmers rediscovered something that had been working since 1000 AD in Spain. Clover wasn't just a weed. It was a soil factory. Here's what makes clover extraordinary. While you see those familiar white flowers bobbing above ground, releasing their sweet fragrance across meadows, the real magic happens in the roots. Each clover plant hosts colonies of bacteria that literally pull nitrogen from the air and convert it into plant food. Free fertilizer, manufactured 24/7, right in your yard. But it gets better. Those roots dive deep, cracking through compacted soil like tiny jackhammers. They create underground highways for air and water while forming a living net that prevents erosion. The dense leaves form a protective carpet that shields soil from pounding rain and scorching sun. Every time clover dies back, it deposits rich organic matter into the ground. The result? Soil that's darker, richer, and more alive than anything chemical fertilizers can create. Before synthetic, smart farmers are rediscovering this ancient wisdom. They are cutting fertilizer costs in half by letting clover do what it has always done best. Homeowners are mixing microclover into lawns for greener, softer grass that never needs feeding. It is a 1,000-year-old technology growing in sidewalk cracks everywhere. While clover works its magic at ground level, our next discovery reaches in the opposite direction, deep underground where different treasures wait. Gardeners plant these for the stunning flower spikes. Blue, pink, white towers reaching 6 feet high, swaying in summer breezes like colorful church spires. Beautiful? Absolutely. But here is what they are really missing. Lupines are underground soil engineers working miracles beneath your feet. The name comes from wolf-like instincts because people once thought they devoured the land. They got it completely backwards. These plants are actually healing damaged earth while you admire the blooms, quietly transforming barren ground into fertile paradise. Over 300 species grow wild across the Americas and the Mediterranean. People in the Andes were eating the protein-rich seeds 6,000 years ago, grinding them into nutritious flour. Romans spread them across Europe as both food and farming allies, understanding their dual nature long before modern science caught up. Walk through Middle Eastern markets today, and you will still find salted lupine seeds sold as snacks, crunchy and satisfying. But here is the hidden talent most people never notice. Those roots are hosting microscopic bacteria that pull nitrogen straight from the air. Free fertilizer, manufactured underground 24 hours a day, no chemicals needed. The long taproot acts like nature's jackhammer, cracking through compacted soil and letting air and water flow into previously impenetrable layers. Plant lupines in poor, sandy or acidic ground where other plants struggle and eventually give up. Buckwheat is not wheat. It is rhubarb's cousin, masquerading under the wrong name for centuries. Walk through any health food store and you will find buckwheat flour selling for premium prices. Yet this plant grows anywhere, asks for almost nothing, and delivers what gardeners dream about: soil that fixes itself. The story starts 8,000 years ago in China's mountains. From there it traveled ancient trade routes, feeding civilizations that understood its value. Russian monks called it grechka. Japanese perfected it into soba noodles. Then somehow we forgot. But here's where it gets interesting. Plant buckwheat and watch what happens. Red stems shoot up 2 feet high, arrow-shaped leaves spread wide, and tiny white flowers appear in clusters. Bees go crazy for the nectar. Then the real magic starts. That dense canopy blocks every weed trying to grow underneath. The plants create their own natural herbicide, releasing compounds that stop weed seeds from germinating. When you till it under, those hollow stems decompose fast, pumping organic matter into tired soil. Farmers rediscovering this plant use it to heal fields damaged by decades of monoculture. Beekeepers follow buckwheat plantings for the dark, mineral-rich honey. Gardeners plant it between seasons and watch depleted plots come back to life. Nature designed this plant to restore what we have damaged. Most people still do not know it exists. That restoration happens fast above ground. But the next discovery works differently, sending roots deep into places most plants cannot reach. People drive past alfalfa fields thinking it is cow food. They are missing something extraordinary, hiding in plain sight. This unassuming plant runs America's 4th largest crop operation, 20 million acres, bigger than wheat in some regions. But here's what nobody talks about. While you see 3 feet of green above ground, 15 feet of living machinery works below. Those roots aren't just growing deep. They're rebuilding the earth. Every alfalfa plant partners with soil bacteria to pull nitrogen straight from the air. Free fertilizer manufactured underground, deposited directly where future crops need it. Farmers plant corn after alfalfa and watch it thrive without synthetic nitrogen for years. The soil remembers, but it gets better. Those branched roots create thousands of microscopic tunnels, natural irrigation channels that capture rainwater and hold it during drought. When storms hit, that same root network locks topsoil in place. No erosion, no nutrient loss. Ancient Persian traders knew this secret. They carried alfalfa seeds across continents, not just to feed horses, but to heal damaged land. The name means father of all foods in Arabic. They understood something we've forgotten. This plant doesn't just take from soil, it gives back more than it uses. Modern agriculture rediscovered what Persians knew thousands of years ago. Plant alfalfa, and the ground gets stronger. The water stays put. The next harvest thrives. Nature designed the perfect soil mechanic. We just had to remember how to use it. Those pale blue flowers growing along roadsides, most people drive right past them. That's chicory, and it has been quietly fixing problems for centuries that we're just starting to understand again. Romans knew this plant's value. Mediterranean farmers built entire systems around it. By the 1800s, Australian ranchers were breeding special varieties like puna and grouse because they discovered something incredible. This roadside weed could transform their worst land into premium pasture. Here's what makes chicory extraordinary. While you see delicate flowers above ground, something powerful is happening below. That taproot drives straight down like a living drill, punching through hardpan soil that stops other plants cold. It's creating channels 2 to 3 feet deep, natural irrigation tunnels that future crops will thank you for. But chicory doesn't stop there. Those deep roots are mining nutrients from layers most plants never reach, pulling up minerals and water from the subsoil. When the leaves drop or you chop the plant, all that deep nutrition gets deposited right at surface level. The transformation happens fast. Hard clay becomes workable. Waterlogged areas start draining. Slopes stop eroding. Even your livestock get healthier. Chicory naturally reduces internal parasites in sheep while delivering protein levels that rival expensive feeds. Watch what happens to soil after chicory has been working it. The earth becomes soft, dark, alive with beneficial microbes. Other plants establish easier. The whole system starts functioning again. Hairy vetch might not win beauty contests, but it's secretly performing one of agriculture's most expensive tricks. For free. Here is what makes this overlooked wonder incredible. Those tangled roots aren't just anchoring the plant. They're housing tiny bacteria that grab nitrogen straight from the air and pump it into the soil. We are talking about the same nitrogen that costs farmers hundreds per acre in fertilizer. But vetch doesn't stop there. Watch it grow thick in spring, and you are seeing a living barrier that chokes out competition while holding precious topsoil in place. When it dies back, it becomes premium mulch that locks in moisture and slowly feeds whatever you plant next. You plant next. The underground benefits run even deeper. Those vigorous roots break up compacted soil, creating highways for future crops to spread their roots. Corn, wheat, vegetables, they all thrive in vetch's aftermath, staying healthier and more disease-resistant than crops in untreated fields. People figured this out thousands of years ago. Romans like Pliny the Elder wrote about vetch's soil-boosting powers back when most of Europe was still figuring out basic farming. Mediterranean farmers have been using it since the Stone Age. The trick is choosing the right variety. Madison survives brutal winters, while Purple Bounty springs up early for maximum growth. Local seed works best. These plants adapt to their surroundings over generations. Ever seen those thick white radishes at the Asian market? Most people grab them for soup. They are missing the real discovery. Daikon Radish is nature's soil engineer. While you are looking at that crisp white root above ground, something incredible is happening 12 to 20 inches below ground. That taproot drives down like a living drill bit, punching channels through the hardest clay soil. When the plant dies back, those channels become highways for water and air to reach future plants. Here's what makes this special. Those deep roots do not just disappear, they decompose into rich organic pockets scattered throughout the soil profile. The radish literally mines nutrients from deep underground and deposits them where shallow-rooted plants can actually use them. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all brought up from the depths and slowly released as the roots break down. Picture this process in action. Each root creates its own network of pathways, like an underground subway system. When seeds land in soil that has been worked by Daikon, they find these perfect pockets, loose earth, trapped moisture, and concentrated nutrients just waiting. The dying radish leaves behind a gift that keeps giving season after season. Asian farmers figured this out centuries ago. They would plant daikon not just for food, but to repair tired fields. The radish would punch through compacted soil, shade out weeds, and leave the ground softer and more fertile than they found it. Modern farmers are rediscovering this wisdom. 5 days from seed to sprouting, grows fast enough to outcompete weeds, dies back naturally, leaving perfectly conditioned soil ready for the next crop. No machinery needed, the plant does the work. It is nutrient cycling at its finest. This humble radish quietly transforming dead earth into living soil, one root channel at a time. Now, meet Comfrey, the ultimate soil engineer. Most gardeners pull this one out thinking it is just another weed. Big mistake. This plant works harder than anything in your garden, and it has been doing the heavy lifting for centuries. While other plants barely scratch the surface, Comfrey sends roots 10 feet down, acting like nature's own mining operation. Those deep roots break through hardpan clay that would stop a shovel. Then they haul up minerals and nutrients that have been locked away for years. Russian Comfrey Bocking 14 is the variety you want. Scientists developed it in the 1950s, specifically for gardeners. All the benefits, none of the spreading problems of wild Comfrey. Smart breeding for practical people. Here is where it gets interesting. Comfrey does not hoard those deep nutrients. Cut the leaves and use them as a nutrient-rich mulch or a fast compost to feed nearby plants and the soil life. And you've got instant fertilizer worth more per pound than most bagged products. Drop chopped leaves around tomatoes, fruit trees, anywhere you want. Explosive growth. The leaves break down fast, feeding your plants potassium and nitrogen while creating a protective mulch layer. Throw Comfrey in your compost pile and watch what happens. Ordinary kitchen scraps and yard waste transform into black gold in half the usual time. The leaves act like a compost accelerator you would pay $20 for at the garden center. But the real magic happens underground. Those mining roots are creating permanent soil improvement, channels for water and air, loosened earth that stays loose. Every year your soil gets deeper, richer, more alive. One plant, decades of better harvests. Most people walk right past this kind of value. From mustard stopping pests naturally, to chicory drilling 20 feet deep. From daikon bulldozers breaking hardpan, to sunflowers cycling nutrients back where they belong. These overlooked healers prove soil is not just dirt. It is alive, and it remembers how to heal itself. Most gardeners throw money at problems these plants solve, for free. Growing in abandoned lots, thriving where nothing else will, quietly doing what fertilizers cannot. Which one is calling to your struggling soil? I am curious what you will rediscover first. Till next time, thanks for watching.